Aries, welcome to your April 2025 weekly reading. Now, this is going to be from April 1st until the 8th. I'm going to do something different in regards to the weeklies. I'm just going to schedule it out in quarterlies throughout the month. It just makes it a lot more easier. So that way I don't have to start from March 31st or 30th until April 4th. You know what I'm saying? I would just rather have it start with the month. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and get started here and jump straight in. I hope you're doing well. I would like to say, as I'm pulling your cards, Aries, if you're interested in booking a reading with me, that link will be down below in the description. All right. And that cell I still have is still there. All right. Let's take a look here, Aries. A lot going on for you, Aries. If anybody's going through the biggest changes, the biggest glow-ups at this time, it's definitely Aries and people with Aries placements. Neptune is coming into your sign. Well, has already come into your sign as of March 30th. The sun's in your sign, so happy birthday to you. Now, Mercury and Venus has left your sign, but they will come back this month. But I think this week, if there's ever a week where there's just a lot of action, it's this week. So let me just go through the transits here if you're wondering what the transits are. And of course, I'll explain them and connect them as well. But I mean, this week's a big week. We got, let's take a look here. Well, I'll really say next week's the big week. This week and next week. But yeah, we got Venus conjunct the North Node. Venus is retrograded back into Pisces, conjunct that North Node. We have Saturn that's going to be sextile and Uranus this week. Mars sextile Uranus. Mars trine Saturn. And the Sun that's going to sextile Jupiter. Venus trine Mars. Venus conjunct Saturn. Mercury direct. Venus sextile Uranus. This is all in the same day. Same week. Mars trine the North Node. Talk about just an action-packed week. Four Wands is in your challenge here. I feel like I think you're looking for enjoyment here, Aries. Yeah, the Empress just came out. The Empress is connected to the archetype of Venus. Venus has a lot to do with enjoyment. Venus is retrograde, so whenever Venus is retrograde, you start to become a little bit less satisfied. Things that you used to resonate with and enjoy, you're not enjoying them as much. And ultimately just seeking for better ways in which you can enjoy yourself. So let's take a look here. I think it's like you're looking for the excitement, you're looking for the fun, you're looking for the passion, you're looking for the adventure here, even the romance, I would say, with that Four Wands being in the challenge. You're gonna get there, Aries. One step at a time. I see you getting to this grand destination here that you're ultimately trying to define and create here for yourself. And actually, too, that Four Wands in your challenge, looking for the enjoyment, wanting to share that with people, right? This could be with community and groups and relationships, right? Because Venus does deal with relationships. And the Knight of Wands as the advice here. And of course, I'm going to show the tarot, but first I want to pull all the cards. But Knight of Wands as your advice is saying, yeah, go on the adventure. Actually take the lead. Define it how you want to define it. And, don't hold back here. Let's see here. You pulled this Chiron card. It says heal here. Yeah, Chiron is in your sign too. Very interesting. Chiron's in your sign. Chiron deals with our deepest wounds. And it can show us where our weaknesses are, but also where our greatest gift is once we flip those weaknesses into strengths. So there could be things here that you're healing, but I think for the most part, you've done a lot of healing, Aries. Now it's just more so courage, right? Like Chiron, there's a courage aspect with it where even if it feels weird, because maybe you haven't done something in a while, or you haven't put yourself out there, or haven't allowed yourself to be seen in the areas in which you felt you were not as good or inadequate. This is saying basically to put yourself out there, to be very healing. Whatever it is that you want to do that you've been holding yourself back, maybe feeling like you're not good enough or whatever the case might be. I actually think it's quite the opposite. I think you are ready here because the Knight of Wands is your advice this week. You are ready. And Mars is the star player this week, which is your ruling planet. Now, it's not the best sign, but it's making good aspects. We have Mars sextile Uranus, Mars sextile Uranus, Venus that's going to retrograde and trine Mars. And what else is going on with Mars? And then Mars trine the North Node. The North Node is all about creating and establishing the ideal future for yourself, with it being in Pisces. And so for you, it's in your 12th house. So this is an energy of having to surrender and let go and trust the divine flow and not be so caught up in sort of the mundane, every details of things. But to trust your spirit, trust your soul here. you pulled this abundance card, the root chakra. The root chakra has come out here. Yeah, and I would say that Four of Wands being here in the challenge is an abundant card. And, the root chakra is pointed to our foundation, so that connects to our work, our money, our possessions, ways in which we support ourselves. And you pulled this albatross card. It says faith, endurance, journey, and hope here. Yeah, I feel Spirit's wanting you to keep perspective here and keep the faith. You do have an energy of faith, like a theme of faith here in your reading, having to be optimistic about the future, or allowing yourself to be optimistic, I would say. And having endurance. I think endurance is very important here as well. But the journey here in which you're on, it's definitely one that's a journey. And I feel Spirit saying here just to be patient with your journey. You're going to get to your destination. And I'll show you that here in the reading. So let's go ahead and jump in here. All right, you pulled the Queen of Pentacles here for the overall energy for this week. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles, it's all about your stability, your resources, your finances, your values, and your possessions here. That is a big emphasis for you. Also, I want to say too, because Venus did retrograde in your sign, and it's come out of your sign and has come back into Pisces. But anytime you have Venus retrograde in your sign, Venus deals with the aesthetics and beauty of things. So this could be your style and the ways in which you want to express yourself, or ways in which you sort of want to be perceived or want to define your style or define your sense of self. You could be going through this process of a glow up where you're shifting these things here or changing these things up. Neptune coming into your sign here as well is a big deal, because if anybody's going through transcendence, it's definitely you, specifically spiritually. All right, you pulled the Page of Cups here. And one thing about that Queen of Pentacles being the overall energy, Queen of Pentacles is about co-creation. And you do have a Four of Wands that's in your challenge, which deals with how you would like to define things and create things and create that space to enjoy that with other people, right? To enjoy your success with other people. You're actually being encouraged here to share your success with other people. You have the Page of Cups here in your current energy at this time. There's definitely new forms of awareness here that are entering into your consciousness. What do I mean by that, right? Because you probably just think I'm talking on my ass. Neptune coming into your sign. Neptune deals a lot with consciousness. Neptune deals a lot with spirituality. It deals a lot with meaning, perception. And Neptune deals with dimensions, right? It deals with these higher forms of consciousness and awareness that we can tune into, tap into. It's the divine antenna, the divine connection. So you're receiving here, I feel, with this Page of Cups in your current energy, new forms of inspiration, because that's what Neptune can do. When it's in your sign, you're getting in it directly. And so the way in which you perceive reality going into this week is going to shift and change. And I think you're going to really want to recreate things and reestablish things here for yourself. You have the Four of Wands here in your challenge position. And then you have the Knight of Wands as the advice. Yeah, I would say this Four of Wands is you really wanting to enjoy things more, wanting to create things to enjoy for yourself. And I'd feel with others too. It's almost in a way too, I feel you're looking for the fun, looking for the excitement, looking for the passion. The Knight of Wands is your advice, which is actually saying here, don't hold back. You may be actually holding yourself back. Because that Chiron card being there, this is where we start to feel like we're not ready, or we don't have what it takes, or it's not going to go the way we want it to, or we're not going to be able to, with Chiron being in Aries, you're not going to be able to define it the way that we want. But I think this Knight of Wands is actually saying no, I think you should go after what it is that you're feeling called to. Because you do have the Five of Swords, and I see this as you sort of breaking free here, like you're waking up here. Five of Swords, you're waking up. Five of Swords is my card of ambition. Yes, it is a card that is negative, but not in this read. I don't get the negativity in this read. It's more so when you snap out of it. It's more so when you come to your senses. You're like, okay, I've been wasting too much time, right? And that's symbolic of the people in the card. The person in the very back is crying, right? He's going through it. The second person's all right, I'm kind of getting over this shit. But then the third person's basically saying, all right, it's time to go. I can no longer just sit here. So I feel this Five of Swords is you sort of snapping out of the victim mentality. And I'm not saying you're in the victim mentality, but it's where, Chiron does have that shadow side of consciousness to where we can be in the victim mentality. And we just hold ourselves back, or we sabotage ourselves, or we don't even give ourselves a chance, or we just blame other people, or whatever the case might be, right? And I think you're done with that. You have the Three of Wands here in the outcome. And this is what I was saying. You're going to get to your destination and where it is that you're trying to go. The Three of Wands, you do have a lot of ambition, specifically with the Five of Swords here. Both cards that are cards that deal with ambition. And that Four of Wands is ultimately what you're trying to move through in regards to your challenge, like that destination to get to that's going to be fun and gives you the freedom and allows for you to find joy and to find peace and to find happiness. And the Three of Wands here is in the outcome of this week. The Three of Wands is it's the next card after, right? The next card after the Three of Wands is the Four of Wands. You're going to get there, but I think first it's more so future planning. I feel by the end of the week, you're going to have a better idea of how you can plan things out for your future so you can get that Four of Wands here in your challenge. But yeah, you have a lot of ambition. Three of Wands is when you really want to extend your ambitions and push your limitations here, or break your limitations here, open yourself up to all these new possibilities because you're actually feeling as if it's possible. Because of the direct experiences and the results that you have been getting through your hard work, through your ambitions that you've already put into motion. You have the Five of Cups here in the position of something you're unaware of that you need to be aware of here. Yeah, I would not, Five of Cups it's crying over spilt milk, right? It's crying over, the wine that has been spilt. The emotions that we're trying to retrieve but have been lost. And it is a card of loss. It is a card of having to surrender and let go of some type of emotional attachment to something, whether that's a past story, people, places, things here. So that way you can open up to this new reality, open up to this whole new life here. If anybody has a whole new life getting ready to start for them, it's Aries. Let's clarify your read, Aries. But yeah, your ruling planet in the mix this week. Sextile Uranus. Mars sextile Uranus is the breakthrough. Uranus shatters limitations and brings innovation. So Mars sextile Uranus is divine alignment of opportunities that allow for you to have some sort of breakthrough. For you, Uranus and Taurus is in your second house, so this could be pointing to your money, your resources, and your finances, your possessions, and finding better ways in which you can support yourself. Mars being in Cancer is in your fourth house, which deals with the home, so this could be connected to your inner self and how you support yourself to make yourself feel emotionally grounded, right? Make yourself feel emotionally happy. Or it could be both, or it could be you finding a better way in which you can support you being able to find or plan for your future, particularly around like a home or your personal life or family life, something like that. Clarify the Queen of Pentacles for the overall energy. You pulled the Temperance card here. Yep, it's all coming together beautifully. And again, the Temperance is a card of beauty. And with the Queen of Pentacles, it's the natural divine beauty of things. I see you being out in nature a lot this week, or doing something out in nature, something like that. It could be very healing, but the Temperance is the healer, right? So I think here that you're healing a lot of things. I'm going to go into different categories. I think you're healing a lot of things this week when it comes to like your self-esteem and your self-worth. Like maybe there have been things with that Five of Cups here that have impacted that, made you feel not as good about yourself, or maybe has lessened your confidence. I think that's going to be restored here. But also too, you finding a better way in which you can create and co-create with others, bringing in more money or resources here for yourself. And also I think too, like your overall well-being as well, I think is something here that you're going to be focusing on this week. So this could be a glow up when it comes to like your looks, or maybe you're getting into shape, or maybe you're working on your health. Looks good. Clarify the Page of Cups. Clarify the Page of Cups in your current energy. Eight of Pentacles, yeah. You've been on the grind here, Aries, Eight of Pentacles. And the Page of Cups is saying if there's new inspirations, aspirations flowing through you, new creativity that's coming to you at this time, channel it into your work. channeling into your everyday routine here. I see sometimes the Page of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles as, Eight of Pentacles is our everyday routine. So whatever's involved in our everyday routine. And the Page of Cups is when we get that subtle, intuitive download of, maybe I should do that. But you have to listen to it, right? You have to listen to it and allow yourself to be guided by it. I think you're going to be experiencing a lot of that this week. Clarify the Four of Wands and your challenge. You have the Devil card here. I think you're just trying to give form to things. But hold on. The Devil card too is feeling restricted, feeling stuck, feeling a lack of freedom, or feeling a lack of movement. Four of Wands, the Devil. And these could be self-imposed restrictions, limitations. That's why the Knight of Wands is your advice. Knight of Wands is saying define it and go. Take action on it. Don't hold yourself back. Clarify the Five of Swords. You have the Ten of Wands here. Yeah, there's also certain commitments I feel like you will be dropping here this week. That no longer, I think you just no longer, they're not in alignment with, well, I won't say they're not, yeah, well, obviously they're not in alignment. But there's going to be certain commitments that I feel you drop this week because you have to free up space. Because that Four of Wands, the Devil, is when you don't feel like you have time and space or energy for anything else because you're already held down by so many other things. Right? So this could be you here, like, dropping certain commitments here so that way you can free up space and pursue the things that you actually want to pursue. And in fact, I feel like that's what's being encouraged of you. Five of Swords realizes, okay, the things in which I've been committing myself to, or do these things resonate? Are they bringing joy and pleasure? Or are they worth it? And if they're not, then the Five of Swords is like, well, I don't care. I'm going to cut myself free from those. And the Ten of Wands is because it's too much. Clarify the Three of Wands in the challenge. You pull the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. And by doing that, there's all these new timelines that are going to open up for you this week. I'm telling you, man. So the timelines, people think this is probably a joke. Like, people just think, oh, it's just another transit. They always say this with every new moon. But I don't think people realize just how big of a deal Neptune coming into Aries is with the solar eclipse in Aries. Because Aries is about new beginnings. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So just the wheel itself of the zodiac, it's a brand new start beginning. Especially, and with Neptune, it's definitely spiritually as well, and perception-wise. And then the eclipse, well, eclipses are a big deal. They open up new paths for us and new directions. And Aries is all about new directions. It's the ram that leaps into the distance. So all these new timelines and things being able to be defined and being able to clearly see it and define it and go after it, it's going to be all these new things. And I feel that's the case here for you with the Three of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. You have good things on the horizon here. Your advice, Knight of Wands, the Emperor. You got to be an Aries. Yeah, the Emperor with the Knight of Wands is how one governs themselves. And the Devil card, Four of Wands, is you got all these rules in which are restricting you and limiting you. You don't even want to follow those. You don't even want to live by those principles. But the Emperor and the Knight of Wands is like you have all these other ways in which you would like to live and do things. And so the Emperor and Knight of Wands is saying, like, to do those things. It's all about being your own person. It's all about being your own identity and living by your own virtues, principles, and rules. Clarify the Five of Cups. You have the Judgment with the Two of Wands. Yeah, I think you got to forgive yourself. I think you've had some setbacks and failures, or maybe you've gone through some experiences here that have, I think they have sort of weighed on you here. They've made you feel maybe not as confident, or, maybe it's making you second guess yourself or doubt yourself. The Five of Cups Judgment is forgiveness, and the Two of Wands is about all these plans that you have that you've just been sitting on. You got to set those in motion. But in order to do that, you have to forgive yourself first and let the past be the past. Five of Cups, the Judgment. Because there can only be that form of new commitment if you literally do, like, free yourself from the attachment of these experiences of the past, whether they're fears or whether they're doubts, whatever the case might be. But I think your journey here and your life here has definitely got some good turns here that it's making with the Three of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. So that's what I got for you, Aries. I appreciate you. I'm wishing you the best. Yeah. If you want to book a personal reading with me, that link is down below, of course, in the description. If you have any question you want to ask me, if you just need confirmation, direction, or even guidance, I'm definitely here. I appreciate you. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And otherwise than that, Aries, I will see you later.